Good morning, all. It feels very good to return to the school after 3 years. I passed out in 2015. I remember this very stage from my very violent performances which I gave for the class assemblies, inter-school competitions, and so on. But let me take you back to the month of December of 2014. For the past few performances, I was not quite feeling right. I was not able to hear whatever I was playing. So one day, I, along with my parents, went to someone called an ENT. And from there, things just took a turn for the worse. At the testing center, after performing some scans, the technicians asked me to leave the room. They wanted to talk to my parents alone. It was cancer. While returning home, I knew my father told me that the technicians probably suggested to be a tumor and that we were required to see an oncologist urgently. I was shocked. I did not even know what an oncologist even means. I Google searched it. And obviously, on returning home, I ran up to my room, slammed the door shut, and cried for an hour. And even worse, I had my board examinations coming up in hardly 3 months' time. And like all exam preparations go, this was the time which any student would have reserved for doing the heavy lifting, for memorizing, for practicing, for revising. But more importantly, how will the treatment go? Will it be painful? How will we know the results? Clearly, things were going on a downhill path. Now, on the day of my first chemotherapy, I went there to the hospital with my parents and my younger brother. Cancer is the uncontrolled growth of cells in the body. So much so that after a point of repeated division, they start forming lumps, which are also called tumors. And it is these tumors which hamper the normal functioning of the many organs of the body. Now, the reasons for the occurrence of this cancer are unknown: genetics, infections, side effects, and so on. But what is certain, one thing which is very certain about it is that it is very prevalent, as I'm sure that each and every person in this room is personally affected by it in some way or the other. So I am at the hospital with my parents and my younger brother for the first dose. And this is the time when there are the largest chances of things going wrong, an adverse reaction, a side effect, or any other unforeseeable future. But our constant sorrows had clouded the possibility of anything going right for us in those unfortunate days. Luckily, the first dose was administered without any problems. Now, one thing which no words can express is the sheer amount of excruciating pain, of excruciating physical pain my body was in. A normal walk up the flight of stairs seemed extreme torture. For even performing the basic functions of eating my food, washing or brushing my teeth, I needed the help of my parents. I could not sleep for days on end, and my body was so much in pain that I was taking my painkillers not by the day but by the hour. Now, the first day of my board examination, I was dejected. I was crying since the morning. I was so down that I even told my parents and decided against appearing. But they instilled some confidence in me and asked me to do the minimum number of questions required to reach that basic 33% mark. I remember calculating again and again the number of questions I expected to get right to reach that minimum mark. I knew I would not make it very comfortably, but I did make it. It is not that I still don't have any issues. There are some problems as a fallout of the treatment. But one thing which I have realized from my experience is that you cannot divide your life into some good or bad periods, into some lean or mean times. Everything happens at the same time. personal relationships, professional goals, physical well-being. It has to happen at the same time. Now, it is very lucky that people get the chance to strive for all these. But in striving for achieving these things, we lose our balance. And I think it is this balance which we are renouncing quite too easily. Just look at around us. I feel that we have formed little bubbles for ourselves. And at the first signs of trouble, we feel very threatened. We feel insecure to break out of these bubbles. And when we feel insecure, we recoil even further into our own bubbles, into our own cocoons. The title of today's talk is TEDxYouth. And I feel that as a generation, as my generation, we have to learn the importance of fast as well as slow. Just look all around us. We are very familiar with speed, with competition, but how will we learn the importance of patience, the importance of failure? The most crucial thing which I have learned from my experience is the importance of knowing yourself. Frankly, there were days when I thought, what would be if this was my last day? And given the initial diagnosis, a very real possibility. And it is through these moments of, as I would like to call, the unprecedented truth, which help us realize, which make us aware of who we really are. We have to search for our answers, but these answers cannot be same for everyone. It should never be. But what will be common amongst all of those answers is that it will bring us that much closer to our own reality. So today, when you go home, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself one question. What if today was your last day? And then you will feel the charade of it all fading away. You will know yourself much better. You will realize the importance of what truly matters. You will set your priorities right. So from now on, today and every day, ask yourselves one question. What if today was your last day?